I'm Rachel, and for my International Women's Day speech, I'll be talking about gender inequality and its impact on women of colour. Throughout history, as the feminist movement progressed and broke into the mainstream, frequent issues faced by women of colour were ignored. As such, I feel like it is important as part of our International Women's Day celebrations, we take time to reflect on some of the injustices felt by women of colour. The fight for equality between the sexes first came in the form of early suffragette movements in the Victorian era. Women would hold marches and chain themselves to railings, protesting their right to vote. Efforts were successful, and in 1918, women over the age of 30 who met a property qualification were given voting rights. However, young women and working class women, which very likely included a majority of women of colour, had to wait another 10 years. Though the racism here is underlying, throughout history, even to this day, there are multiple moments that more explicitly highlight women of colour's struggles due to gender and race. The political term, woman of colour, surfaced in the violence against women's movements. In the late 70s, it unified all women experiencing multiple layers of marginalisation, with race or ethnicity as a common issue. The term allowed a community of women to come together and better publicise and address issues they specifically faced. Focusing on employment and looking at current statistics, at present, the unemployment rate for white women and men in the UK stands at 4%, but women from Black, Asian and minority ethnics, BAME, backgrounds in the UK at 9%, meaning they are twice as likely to be unemployed. Women from minority groups also experience disadvantages across employment sectors, including academia, where BAME representation is very low. Considering crime and punishment statistics for BAME women, the picture is harsher again. They are more likely to be reprimanded or sentenced than white women, and when you add to this the fact that black women are more likely to be single mothers, the imprisonment has serious implications for their children. Though this can be recognised as a factor of systematic racism and sexism, I think it's also important to look at the effects of representation. African American women typically have been negatively stereotyped in television. In the United States, women of colour have frequently been misrepresented by the media for over 50 years or more. The manner in which media represents women of colour has been an issue throughout most television and film history, focusing on black women. When giving screen time, more often than not, their characters will fall into one of these three categories. This is extremely damaging and conveys a totally inappropriate depiction of a community of women. But perhaps equally as concerning is Hollywood's history of whitewashing, removing an honest representation of people of colour and replacing it with racist stereotyping. In the past, we've seen it in films such as Breakfast at Tiffany's, but in more current times, films like Doctor Strange have also misrepresented minorities. So with these harmful images filling our screens, where can young women of colour look to be inspired? Well, of course, we can call up on stories of women from our past, people like Josephine Baker, Rosa Parks, Maya Angelou. But we can also look to the great women of today, who are breaking the mould and inspiring the next generation, people like Michelle Obama and Kamala Harris. These women have fought and continue to fight to create a more equal world. But just like them, I recognise there is more to be done. As such, with this year's International Women's Day theme being #ChooseToChallenge, I choose to challenge sexist and racist behaviour. I choose to challenge harmful depictions of women from BAME backgrounds, and I encourage you all to do the same.